All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. What did we learn about the Arizona Cardinals watching them upset the Dallas Cowboys in Week 3 that can be gleaned for the 49ers matchup with the Cardinals in Week 4? We'll hit that next. But first, let's mention Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Corte Madera and Emeryville. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue you're going to find. Get the brisket chili. It's all amazing. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. All right, I watched a lot of football on the couch in Week 3 because the 49ers were not playing, so I had a chance to sit there and watch the red zone and really hone in the afternoon games on the Niners' next two opponents, the Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys. And shockingly, the Arizona Cardinals beat the Cowboys in the desert 28-16 in front of a crowd that was largely made up of Cowboy fans. So, all right, let's get right into it. What did we learn about the Cardinals that I think the Niners can utilize to try to beat them a week from now? Well, number one is you have to stop James Conner. James Conner's a big back. He really is, and you got to go low on him. He only had 14 carries, but he had 98 yards. He had a 28-yard run. He averaged 7 yards a carry. He's a big physical back. It's not a great line that he runs behind, but he's big and he's physical. And if he gets 3-4 steps of a head start, good luck tackling that guy, and you better go low. So he rumbled. He rumbled, especially in the first half of this game against Dallas. So you got to take away James Conner. They don't have a lot of great runners, but Conner is their number one guy, and they're going to feed him. And if you don't stop him, it's going to be an all-day deal. So number one, you got to stop James Conner. You got to go low. You got to gang tackle him. You can't let him get rolling. If Arizona can run the football, it's going to be a long day, because they have a lot of speed in their receiving core. Number two, you got to dial up the rush on Joshua Dobbs. Any way you have to do it, whether you do it with 4 or like the New York Giants did in Week 2 where you're sending 5 and 6-man pressures, you got to dial up the heat on Joshua Dobbs. It's really that simple. If you look at what the Cowboys did or didn't do, the Cowboys have a phenomenal rush. They only got to him twice. They only hit him 4 times. He did not feel the Cowboy rush. He needs to feel the 49er rush. So that's number 2. You have to dial up the rush on Dobbs. And if you got to bring extra guys, you got to go with 5-man pressures, 6-man pressures, then do it. Because you got to make him feel your pressure. Otherwise, he turns into a decent NFL quarterback. Number 3. You need to eliminate Arizona's explosives on offense. That's what the Giants did in the second half against the Cardinals in Week 2. They just took away the explosives. The Cardinals couldn't make any explosive plays. The Cardinals are not great at driving the football. It's not an awesome precision offense. You're going to find a lot better and more accurate quarterbacks than Joshua Dobbs. But the Cardinals can dial up explosives. Dobbs himself had a 44-yard run. Rondale Moore had a 46-yard run. Then you go look at the receivers. Michael Wilson had a 69-yard reception. Marquise Hollywood Brown had a 23-yard reception. So you got to minimize Arizona's explosives. If they get explosive plays, that's really the key to their offense. Rondale Moore's a home run hitter. Hollywood Brown's a home run hitter. You let these guys, make field position changing type plays, and you can lose. So you have to eliminate their explosives. If you look at Week 2, the Giants were down 20-0 in the first half. Why? Because Arizona had a number of explosive plays. Arizona was basically totally neutralized in the second half of that game. How? Well, the Giants took away all those explosive plays. So that's a major part of Arizona's offense, the explosives. You got to dial down the explosives. You got to make sure that they make them earn it, make them drive the length of the field. That's number 3. Number 4, You got to defend both tight ends. Arizona's got two good tight ends. They got the Bay Area kid, Zach Ertz, and then they also have the Colorado State star, Trey McBride. And they'll use both those tight ends, and they're both big bodies, big targets with great hands and great ball skills. In this game against Dallas, Arizona targeted their tight ends 3 times. They completed 3 passes. So they're not volume guys, but you gotta defend the tight end. The Niners do a pretty good job against the tight end, but in this game, it's going to be very, very important that they do. Number 5 on the list, try to avoid the rookie corner, Keitrell Clark. You know, I'm a big Keitrell Clark fan, dating back to his college days at Louisville. He had 10 tackles, 8 solo, defended a couple passes. He's feisty. He's competitive. He's really good in the short and intermediate range. He's very quick. You know, he's got a great 10-yard split. I think it's like 149. That's a lightning quick, corner. He's not the biggest guy. He doesn't have the greatest length. You got to run at him, and you got to challenge him down the field where you can expose some of the limitations he has size-wise. So you don't, the game plan's got to be go at Marco Wilson, the left corner, because Keitrell, who plays the right corner, is really, really quick, and he's a playmaker. So the Niners do have the receivers to match up with Clark and with Wilson because they've got bigger, more physical receivers. But that's really a major key is if you can avoid Keitrell Clark in the short and intermediate range, do it. If you can run at Keitrell or try to force him to play coverage down the field, your chances of beating this Arizona team, I think, go up dramatically. And number 6, get Kazir White blocked. He is a tackling machine. 3 weeks of games now, and Kazir White's is averaging. He's got 30 total tackles. So you can do the math. That's 10 a game. Somehow you got to get Kazir White blocked. So I mean that's really it. If you do all those things, you're going to be able to beat Arizona. You got to stop Connor, got to gang tackle him, and you can't go high. You got to go low. You got to dial up the rush on Dobbs and make him feel your pass rush. Dallas didn't do that in week 2. Giants really did it in the second half in week 3. Dallas didn't do it in week 3, but the Giants did it in the second half of week 2, and Dobbs was rendered almost useless in the second half of that week 2 game. You must eliminate Arizona's explosives on offense. You got to defend their 2 tight ends. They got 2 really good tight ends. You got to avoid the rookie corner, Keitrell Clark, and pick on Marco Wilson, and you have to get Kazir White blocked. So, it's interesting. A lot of people were not giving the Niners all that much credit for beating the New York Giants. It just kind of goes to show that all these teams are good in the NFL. They all have talent, and every win is big. And Dallas took Arizona lightly. They didn't get those things done that I just mentioned there, and they lost the game. And it wasn't close. 28-16 Cardinals. If the Niners do those 6 things, they should roll to 4-0 and roll into the Dallas game undefeated. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. Thanks to all you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.